Can you imagine if the Earth were really flat? What would its edge look like? Would it be like a giant wall of ice? Or would you just step off and fall into the abyss of space? Do not laugh. Some people actually believe this. And today, we are going to seriously discuss it. If the Earth were truly flat, what would the world be like? The view from the edge of the Earth might truly astound you. If you stood at the edge and looked down, it could be endless darkness. Or a legendary wall of ice. Yes, just like in the conspiracy theories, guarded by NASA, keeping you away. You might think this sounds like nonsense, but let us just assume for a moment. What if they are right? How would the Earth stay in space without falling? It would orbit the sun, or the sun revolves around him. Have you ever wondered why you can never reach the end of the Earth? This is in a world where the Earth is flat. For many years in human history, everyone genuinely believed the Earth was flat, like a pancake. But later, a guy named Copernicus stepped up and said, hey, not only is the Earth round, it is not the center of the universe. His new theory completely changed humanity's understanding of the universe. But can you believe that 500 years later, some people still insist the Earth is flat? If what they say is true, how bizarre must the Earth's operating mechanism be? Ultimately, all of this is related to one word: gravity. It is gravity that pulls all matter evenly together from all directions. Finally, a sphere like Earth was formed. But what if the Earth is actually flat? Then it is not like that at all. People who believe in the flat Earth theory will tell you gravity does not exist. The reason we feel pulled down is because of some mysterious force. When you keep accelerating this whole Earth, this pancake-shaped Earth, constantly accelerating upwards, it sounds pretty absurd, right? And I have to remind you of something. You can't accelerate infinitely. As you keep accelerating, one day you will accelerate past the sky. That is not a joke. Of course, if we deduce this with normal scientific logic, then a flat Earth would have gravity. But this gravity would be very, very strange. For example, the center of gravity would be in the very center of the flat Earth, which is the North Pole area. Everything, including you and me, the air, the rain, everything will be pulled towards it. And the further you are from the center, the more obliquely and intensely gravity pulls. Imagine this as you walk from the center to the edge. At some point, you won't be walking anymore, but climbing, like rock climbing, because the ground starts to tilt. People will automatically slide toward the center. This also explains why you can never reach the end of the Earth. It is not because there is an ice wall blocking you, but because you can't even get that far. Gravity will pull you right back down, and you might never see the legendary 45-meter Antarctic ice wall. Some call it Earth's guardrail, let alone get a chance to see the other side of Earth. But do not be too sad. At least you won't fall off. But that is not all. This bizarre gravity has other effects. Things near the edge of the Earth do not fall straight down. They fall at an angle. Trees also grow all crooked, as if they had been bent by the wind. Actually, it is because they're resisting gravity by pulling diagonally. And rain, snow, ice, and hail will all drift wildly toward the center of the Earth, which is the Arctic region. Then they will accumulate and accumulate. And in the end, it is possible it could flood and become a super inland lake. Even the entire ocean would be pulled towards the center by gravity, forming a giant puddle in the middle of the Earth. You look around, and it is all dry wasteland, and the ocean is nestled right in the middle. But that is not all. What we are going to talk about next, it is the air, the sun, and the entire celestial system, acting strangely on a flat Earth. If you think that is weird enough, just wait. It gets crazier. If the Earth were really flat, people living in the flat Earth version of Australia might not even have enough oxygen to breathe. And if you were to live at the center of the Earth, which is the North Pole, the atmospheric pressure would crush you into a pancake, but it would not last long, because a flat Earth would not have a geomagnetic field at all. The geomagnetic field is generated by the movement of the Earth's core, but an Earth shaped like a pancake, it has no core, so it has no magnetic field. No magnetic field, and the atmosphere can't hold on. It will all drift into space eventually. What about us humans? Directly exposed to solar radiation, cancer, gene damage, hypoxia. No one can escape. If you want to live, you would better find a spare oxygen tank. All right, now for the question everyone's been asking in this setting. What revolves around what? And will there still be day and night? Will there be time zones? Every flat earther knows. They think the sun and moon are like spotlights circling around the pancake Earth. And these two spotlights are about the same diameter, only 50 kilometers. But let us get some real science. If the sun really works like a spotlight, then whether it is shining on you or not, you would still be able to see it from anywhere on Earth, much like that light in the sky when you are abducted by aliens. I do not know if that is how they came up with it. So, in this setting, there would be no alternation of day and night. Then when do we sleep? Do not worry, I will fix it for him. If the sun really revolved around a flat Earth like this, then once the sun rose, the entire Earth will be daytime simultaneously. As soon as the sun sets, the entire Earth instantly plunges into darkness. This means there are no time zones, no seasons, one global time. Of course, you can still stay up late watching videos to disrupt your routine. This won't change. But you would have to be lucky, because if the sun were much smaller than Earth, there'd be some hope. But imagine this. If the sun were still as big as it is now, and it flew around a pancake Earth, that entire Earth would have been burned to a crisp by him. After all, he is too close to us. Conversely, if the sun were much smaller than it is now, we would all freeze to death. Why? Because the surface area of a flat Earth is 2.5 times that of our current round Earth. But the energy received from the sun is only 1/3, which is not enough to sustain life. And we have not even talked about the most outrageous lunar eclipses. Flat Earthers believe that lunar eclipses are caused by an anti-moon jumping out from behind and blocking the light. They do not believe that the Earth blocks the sun's light. But in our familiar spherical Earth model, a lunar eclipse is a result of the sun, Earth, and moon being in a straight line. If you try to apply that to a flat Earth, it would look something like this. Even if it were possible, it also relies on a bunch of bizarre astronomical settings to achieve the desired effect. So, if someone really exposed that Earth was photoshopped and GPS was all fake, just for certain people to make money, then we would have to rethink all conspiracy theories. But the reality is that many people, including the flat earthers, are actually living in a state called cognitive dissonance. In other words, the ideas in their minds do not align with reality, yet they still believe it with all their might, because every day we are exposed to all sorts of fake evidence. These things look incredibly scientific and can support any absurd theory. Even if you just think about it for a moment, you will realize it makes no sense at all. Think about it. If Copernicus had been browsing online back then, a 10-hour flat Earth conspiracy video, he might also say, "Oh, did I get it wrong?" Oh, and there is something even crazier. Have you ever seen a donut-shaped Earth? Now that is a contestant that'll go viral in one go.